So it seems as though every other day we are talking about a Switch 2 rumors, whatever Nintendo's next console is going to be, or leaks, or speculation, or whatever. We got another thing that just came out, and I know I'm getting a little bit tired of talking about it as well, but I want to keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on. As per usual, take it with a grain of salt. Nothing's from Nintendo themselves, but it is interesting what is being reported, and there's other reports from other people that kind of match up with this one. So when you kind of put them all together, it kind of starts to make you think, well, maybe there is some weight to some of these, to say the very least. That said, if you guys do enjoy this one, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, do a variety of Nintendo-based content here on this channel, and keep it locked for more Nintendo news, guides, walkthroughs, gameplays. If it's Nintendo, it goes on this channel pretty much. It doesn't matter what it is. So let's go ahead and jump straight into this. And this came out last night. This is a Bloomberg report. Another analyst. I mean, analysts always kind of, I don't know. I'm always, kind of skeptical of analysts, because at the end of the day, it's like, sure, they study the market, they study these things, but at the same time, it's just a guessing game at the end of the day, really. But they've been, in this game for quite some time, and sometimes, there's considerations to be taken out of this. All right, so the latest is again rumored for the quote unquote Switch 2, which is that this new console is going to come with an 8-inch LCD screen, and that it will arrive sometime in 2024. They said that the new device from the Kyoto-based games maker will be responsible for a doubling in shipments of so-called amusement displays in 2024, this analyst said in Tokyo on Friday. Saying that it's going to be lifting up demand for display panels by 14.6 million. So there's a couple interesting things in here. First of all, right now we have an OLED display, and I know a lot of people will be like, oh, well, they came out with an OLED Switch. Now what? They're going to walk back and they're going to go back to LCD screens. And so, why wouldn't they just do OLED again? I mean, here's the thing, right? Is first of all, OLED is going to be more expensive to produce. It's just how it's going to be. So to cut costs, they, obviously are going to use probably a normal screen. The OLED model came out as an option for people that wanted, maybe something that was a little bit more expensive, but you got a little bit, nicer kind of bells and whistles, including the OLED screen. So it makes sense that this is not going to be OLED, in my opinion, personally. But the other thing is that the 7-inch screen that was with the OLED model was 720p, basically, resolution, which is not good in 2024. But, you make do, especially, it's handheld, whatever. But obviously in docked, it was 1080p. So the question is a couple different things. Number one, first of all, is that this is going to be an inch bigger than the OLED. So if you're looking at the OLED Switch, imagine that screen is about an inch bigger. But at that point, I mean, the console's getting kind of bulky, man, I would assume, right? I mean, you almost have no bezels. I mean, there's, I guess, some bezels, but there's almost no bezels on the current Switch OLED. It's very minimal. And so at that point, you're going to probably have to make the actual console a little bit bigger. And then there's also the fact that we always, we talked about recently, in terms of like what this console could be. People are calling it a Switch 2, which is going to be an upgraded Switch. Yes and no. I compared it to like kind of like the DS to the 3DS, right? The 3DS was like a whole other console. It had a new kind of cartridge, but it could still play the cartridges from the DS, but the DS cannot play the 3DS cartridges. Obviously with the 3DS, we had a lot of, upgraded features. It was more powerful, which was a big thing, right? Better chip and better internals. Obviously they had some other stuff, better they had the 3D, and then eventually with the new 3DS XL, they had the better 3D. And so there's a couple different things there that they ended up, improving on, and different things like that. But yeah, so it is worth noting though, that there were reports about Sharp supplying its LCD displays for a new console. So this could also fall in line with, what's going on here. There was another analyst earlier this month, actually, that was claiming Switch 2 model would arrive this year, priced at the $400 mark. So that kind of goes in line with what this analyst is saying that's going to come out this year. I mean, it's not hard to kind of put it together. I mean, I've been saying for the past 2-3 years that I believe 2024 would be the year that Nintendo would release a new console. I said maybe as early as 2023. and maybe as late as 2025, giving a little bit of a buffer window. But 2024 seemed like the year that made the most sense. So I don't know. You guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you be happy with an 8-inch LCD screen? I mean, again, it's a little bit of a bigger screen. At that point, though, it's like, I don't know. I was kind of hoping like maybe they would kind of do more like what the 3DS and the DS was, right? Kind of like give us a double screen or something. I mean, they're probably not going to go back and do what they've already done, right? Nintendo's always trying to innovate, but the question is like, how are they going to innovate this next console besides making the screen bigger? What's going to be better? I would assume it's going to be more powerful. Hopefully it's going to be capable of 4K, because again, 4K is becoming the norm. At the very least, maybe they're going to go at least like 1440p or something. And then in handheld, I mean, you probably can only have like 1080p, but at least better than 720. But again, beyond that, what's going to be really the draw besides it just being kind of like an upgraded Switch, right? Like, what is going to make it an entirely new console? Kind of like the 3DS was still in the DS line, but it was still kind of a jump to a new kind of console at the same time, and whatnot. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this one, leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys soon in another one. Tell them, friends, game on. Thanks for watching.